Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another Walking Dead video. Today we got some new promotional images from Entertainment Weekly from an article they posted here today. I will leave a link to the article down in the description, but we're just going to go over the photos, talk about Daryl Dixon, and we are little under 2 weeks from the premiere, finally, after a long wait, after the original summer time slot was kind of shoved aside for another show. And now we're finally getting this. And also kind of on top of all of that, we have New York Comic Con coming up. And I believe that Daryl Dixon and Dead City both have panels planned. And whether or not we're going to see any announcements for any further spin-offs or anything like that, not sure yet. There's a lot of speculation out there that we might, because I guess Scott Gimple was supposed to be at San Diego, but he came down with COVID. And they kind of, I think, rearranged things and kind of replanned or rescheduled a few different things. And with him supposed to be at the New York Comic Con with, Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, and probably the Dead City cast as well, maybe we will see some sort of announcements or some sort of update, hopefully, for if they're going to continue Rick and Michonne's story, or if they have plans for just another whole spin-off altogether. There's really been no word on that. We just know from things that Denai Guerrera said, things that Andy Lincoln has said, that they're definitely open to the idea. And anytime they're asked about, is this in the works, they're very tight-lipped about it. They say that they cannot say anything. So we know that the plans are probably at least out there. They're being talked about, but there's been no official word, unfortunately, about whether or not the story is going to continue and if we're going to get any further developments with their story as far as them meeting back with everybody and closing out this corner of the Walking Dead universe to continue something down the road. But anyways, again, I just want to cover these photos that we got. Mostly these are just character photos, just kind of talking about the show. And again, I will leave a link to the article in the description. But this first one, we just got our shot of the man himself, Daryl Dixon. I believe this is either shortly before or shortly after his ambush with Janae, as we have seen in a couple of teasers where he does ambush her and flip her vehicle. And he's really going after her this season because of the threat that she poses and the threats that she's made. And of course, we have seen in the trailer where he does end up kidnapped by her at some point. So this also could be when he's actually picked up, because we saw in the trailers where he goes to kind of get that kill shot and we have an explosion happen in the background, probably throws him off and they get the jump on him. It just kind of screws up his whole plan. So this is probably in that moment, shortly before, after, more than likely before. And he's sporting a couple new injuries there in his face, a couple new scars, because Daryl Dixon, of course, has been scarred up over the years in his years of constant fighting and struggling and just trying to help people and whatnot. And that's just kind of played into the story of his time in France, where he was supposed to leave, but he couldn't, because he could not leave Laurent in the position that he was in. He couldn't turn his back on his responsibilities there because he felt obligated. And of course, I think he, a part of him wanted to stay for Laurent and for Isabelle and for the relationship they had formed, and he didn't want to leave the nest in a vulnerable position. But I think there's more going on at the nest than we realize. But anyways, moving on to the next picture, we have a shot of Carol. This, of course, is something we have seen before as well. This is at that trading post or that camp where she traces Daryl's bike back to these people after she takes it from that guy who tries to rob her on the highway. And she's here, she's questioning people, where's my friend, what did you do with him, and all this and that. So this is her information gathering scene that we have seen in teasers, of course, because we have been at least given teasers to kind of hold us over, but some of it has been repeated and some of it is just these quick little 30-second, 15-second clips that don't really give us a whole lot. And hopefully we will see another trailer, but then again, it is less than 2 weeks away, so the likelihood's not that great. But we have been getting these little, like I said, these teasers that are just designed really to hold us over, I think. The next one is an interesting one. We have our first kind of full shot there of Ash. And Ash, I'm just not sure if he's going to make it. And I think this has been the general consensus among the fans. And just considering what they did with Nat and The Ones Who Live, they brought in this great character. He only lasted a couple of episodes, or maybe not even that. I think he only lasted the one episode where he was brought in. He was this strong outspoken character, and he was there for Michonne, and then he unfortunately didn't make it. And I think that's the same direction we're going to see with Ash. He's going to serve his purpose to get Carol over to France, and then something's going to happen where he gets himself into a situation where more than likely he's going to get bit, because we have seen a particular scene multiple times in multiple teasers where Carol is in that car, and we have confirmed too this is her and Daryl together, and you can see Ash, and I'm 100% sure about this, that this is Ash in the driver's seat, and he's looking very sickly, so he's probably got bit at this point, and he doesn't make it because, of course, the car is surrounded by walkers. So I don't think he's going to make it, and it's really unfortunate. But this picture, you know, we've got him here. He's got his, what looks like a shotgun, and then he's got what is more than likely Daryl's crossbow. This could be right before they leave the area, right before they get on that plane to take off to fly across to France. And this is where they start getting surrounded by walkers as they're departing. And so I don't see things working out for this guy, which is really unfortunate, because more than likely they'll bring him in, he'll be this awesome character, then he'll just die, which really sucks. But as is the world of The Walking Dead, no one's guaranteed. Moving on to the next one. Now this dude, Lo Sang, the leader of the Nest, the leader of this group running the Nest. We don't know much about him yet, other than, from what I remember anyways, he was from the US, and then he made his way over to France, I believe before the fall, and he was just residing there before everything went down. And his intentions, they're not too clear yet. I believe that him and Daryl don't get along, or at least Daryl doesn't believe in the mission or whatever that this group has. And I think they have some conflicting ideas of what's right for Laurent, because this guy wants Laurent to be this great new messiah or whatever, and I don't think Daryl sees it that way. I really think they could come to blows possibly, or they just come to heated arguments or something I think is going to happen there, that maybe Daryl discovers something that's going on in the background that he is not okay with. And I think it's going to be kind of focused around this guy. I don't think he is who we think he is, honestly. Moving on to the next one, we have a shot of Laurent with his little hat and gloves and everything. I think this is probably during that scene that, of course, we got another teaser for, where Daryl is trying to show him how to kill walkers, how to defend himself, and it does not work out that well. And then here we are, we have Madame Genet. We're supposed to learn some more about her. We're going to see some flashback scenes of the fall, or things as they're happening, where we're going to get more detail on Madame Genet, where she came from, who she was. And kind of an interesting thing in this article where they mention, you know, not only is the Nest a really exciting thing, and Norman Reedus says, you know, that he slept there. He slept at this castle while other crew members and whatnot slept at hotels, you know, down the road from this place, but he wanted to sleep at the castle. He said it was some of the best sleep he ever got, just hearing the seagulls and whatnot next to the nearby water and the smell of the salt and everything. He said he slept like a baby, which I imagine is pretty true, because honestly that sounds amazing. But anyways, getting back to Madame Genet, the thing that's going to be interesting about her is, going into her past, they got permission to shoot at the Louvre, which is a very exciting location. It's this museum, and also they said that the scene that we see from yet another teaser, or from the trailer I believe, was of the Mona Lisa. That is the real Mona Lisa, Norman Reedus said, so that was pretty cool. Then we get our shot of Isabelle. I am not sure about Isabelle. I just feel like they're painting it as that she is not going to make it, or she is going to stay behind. She's going to make Daryl leave her, and that's going to be the end of her story, because Norman Reedus has said, you know, us fans, we would love to see it if he would get paired up with someone, but he's not for that idea. He doesn't like that. He's kind of the lone wolf. He always has been. He's just kind of there to help other people. And, you know, we have this character of Isabelle who, in my opinion, fits well with Daryl. She is kind of a loner too. She comes from a sketchy background, and they just have this chemistry that just works. But I'm not 100% sure, and kind of scared that she's not going to make it past this season, that her story is going to end here, which is kind of stupid. But again, as is the world of The Walking Dead, no one's guaranteed to live, but It just seems like a waste that they bring in someone that has done such a great job with just the one season that she's had, and we might not see her past this second season. As they did release a casting announcement for season 3, they hired about 5 new actors, and whether or not what side of the fence they're going to be on or anything like that, we don't know yet. But it doesn't seem like she's being included in any of the promotional material, Laurent either, which in my opinion isn't the biggest loss. I've not been a big fan of his character. But it just seems like they're going to move away from anything having to do with France, and we're going to be introduced to a whole new group of people as they get out of France, going into England and Spain, because England has been confirmed that they are going to get there kind of by accident, but we'll see how all that works out. But anyways, that is the end of the pictures. 2 weeks, guys. We have less than 2 weeks until this premieres, and I just could not be more excited. And it just sucks, though, because we don't know anything as far as, will we get any more spinoffs? Will anything proceed forward with Rick and Michonne? What's going on with Dead City? I hope at New York Comic Con we do get at least a date confirmation for the premiere of the second season. My guess is probably early spring sometime. That just seems to make the most sense. Not put too much of a large gap in between the end of Daryl Dixon and the beginning of Dead City, as much as we got between The Ones Who Live and Daryl Dixon, because they just had scheduling conflicts and things got shuffled around, and it was just basically a big fucking bummer. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed my thoughts and my discussion, please leave a like, leave a comment, of course, subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. So take care. Bye.